Our Democrats and the media have pushed this narrative for years.
Donald Trump's threats to democracy are well known. Americans saw it.
He's willing to sacrifice our democracy.
Donald Trump tells us what he plans to do, which is finish the hit job on our democracy.
I think Donald Trump getting reelected, if he would destroy democracy as we know it.
Besides that, I think it'll go well. But RFK Jr. joined Fox and Friends yesterday and said President Biden is the bigger threat to democracy.
President Biden has done something that no other president in history has done, which is to order media, particularly the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google, to censor his political opponents. If you have a president who can censor his political opponents, right, he is the license for any kind of atrocity. That is a genuine threat to our democracy.
That stunned everybody. Joining us now to talk about the real threats to democracy is Matthew Taibbi. Matt, of course, was asked to go through the Twitter files after it was bought by Elon Musk. Matt, joining us now is the one person I think that could really understand where RFK was coming from. Do you think he's right?
Yeah, I think he is. I think the proof of that is that heading into the 2024 presidential election cycle, Joe Biden is probably the only candidate who can expect not to be censored. All the other major candidates have already been censored. Going back historically, we found in the Twitter files that the Green Party had been significantly censored in the 2020 and 2016 election cycles. The other candidates like Vivek Ramaswamy have been, deplatformed from multiple different sites. That doesn't happen to only one party. And I think that's a significant advantage in, the modern information age where most people get their information from phones and the internet.
I mean, even when the President Trump was president, he was being shadow banned. So was his son. So was a lot of his supporters. Then when he loses the presidency, under the guise of saying misinformation is killing people, we know that the administration demanded from these social media companies a portal where they could basically censor Americans from what they thought was dangerous speech, like the virus came from a lab, or ivermectin might be effective, correct?
Yeah, and there were multiple routes by which this happened. There was the creation of a quasi-private organization called the Election Integrity Partnership, which was sponsored by the Department of Homeland Security, and believe it or not, the Global Engagement Center of the State Department, which has no legal business doing anything in the United States with information. But yes, they were conducting sweeping reviews of politicized content heading into the 2020 election. Then there was also just the matter of taking down President Trump's accounts on various social media platforms. Now, we only had insight into Twitter, but what we found was amazing. They had to invent a new system or a new definition of incitement, essentially, to come up with the justification to remove Trump. They didn't have actionable tweets that they could say violated their policies. They had to come up with the definition that essentially it was like stochastic terrorism. It was, if you can reasonably expect that someone might misbehave as a result of these tweets, we're going to take you down. That is a completely new standard that they applied just for Donald Trump.
And you continue to write about this in Racket News, but it's also important for people to point out nothing's really changed. I mean, the presidency can actually threaten antitrust suits, get rid of the 234, which allows them to function without being sued, which we know is, Section 230. So they still have that leverage. So this is not in President Biden's rearview mirror. He could still do this stuff.
Right. And, the case that's currently before the Supreme Court, Murphy v. Missouri, one of the central incidents in that lawsuit is something that happened on I think the first day of Joe Biden's presidency, when he directed Facebook to take down a Facebook post by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about the death of Hank Aaron, which was not even factually inaccurate. It was, you could argue that it was misleading in the sense that it wasn't proven that his death was caused by the vaccine, but all he said was that he died. And the Biden administration was anxious to take that down, and they have no business doing that. That is not what the bully pulpit is. The bully pulpit is when you make your case publicly to the nation to try to convince voters to do something.
And by the way, a lot of the stuff they said where if you get the vaccine, you're not going to get COVID was flat out wrong. Where were their censorship? Because the facts were not out yet, especially when it has to do with the pandemic. Go to racket.news and find out more from Matt on a daily basis. Matt, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.
All right.
In the soft embrace of morning light, groggy and warm yet hopeful inside, a whisper of promise, a sense so sweet, reviving energy with every heartbeat. Oh yeah, stumbling down the stairs with grace, favorite mother cherished embrace. Each sip, a dance of enchantment, caffeine's elixir, a daily enchantment. Coffee in the morning, my lifeline, guiding through life's chaotic design, finding every morning sun, a gentle caress, bathing the world in warmth no less. A symphony of flavors in every pore, awakening senses, a ritual to adore. The kitchen hums a quiet tune as dreams unfold not too soon. Pouring the elixir, stories take flight. In the world of coffee, my spirit alights. A mug cradled, a vessel of tales. Each sip, a dialogue as morning unveils. Bitterness, a new world of tales. As the day unfolds, a caffeinated tale in morning symphony, where moments prevail. Coffee, my companion in the sunrise quest, in the ritual morning, my eternal zest. The world awakens, a canvas so bright, in the palette of dawn, a captivating sight. A dance of flavors, a morning trance. In the world of coffee, life's sweet romance.